Welcome to the 2019 Putnam County Columbus Day festivities cooking extravaganza. My name is Giulio Cefaloni. I'm here with the three marshals. I will be your host for this show. We have a live audience this evening here. Applause! All right, you wait until you see what these guys have cooked up. You are going to love these creations that these three master chefs from Villa Barone have cooked up. They're wearing Villa Barone garb. Thank you, Villa Barone. Always very kind. Okay, we will start with introducing each one of the chefs, where they trace their roots in Italy and where they trace their delicacy that they cooked up this evening. First, we will start with our Grand Marshal, Anthony DeCarlo, our Superintendent of Schools here in the Mahopac Central School District. Anthony traces his roots among many different places in Italy, but the one that he really prefers and identifies with is Bari, which is in the provincia of the Puglia. Actually, let me get a pointer here so that I can do it better without, okay? Puglia is Bari. Let me tell you a little bit about Bari. Bari has a population of 325,000 people. The Bari and suburbia has a population of 1.3 million people. Not a small place. It is a strategic harbor, was a strategic harbor for the Romans, given its location in the Adriatic and the open seas in the Mediterranean. It was governed by the Byzantine Empire. It was under the Arab control for many years, and then it was the Spanish and French control for many years until the unification of 1861 of Italy. Many people from Bari and vicinity, as in many other regions of Italy, by the way, there are 20 regions of Italy, and Puglia is not a small region, so many people from southern Italy especially immigrated to all sorts of places in the world. The main ones where they went to was the United States, Canada, Germany, Australia, and South America, like Uruguay, Paraguay, or Argentina. Some of the main products that Puglia and Bari are famous for is wheat, olive oil, wine, olives, and many other products. And they export these all over the world, especially the olive oil. Bari is a thriving seaport today because cruise ships also stop in Bari. If you take an Eastern Mediterranean cruise, one of the places that they stop is Bari, believe it or not. Okay? They have a very famous saint, San Nicola. I'm surprised you're not named Nick.
No, I know, I'm not.
Okay.
I have a cousin who's named Nick.
There you go.
There you go.
San Nicola is the patron saint of Puglia and specifically Bari, and it's celebrated on December 6th. Some typical dishes: orecchiette, strascinate, chianchiarelle, cavatelli. These are all pasta cuts. Calzoni of all types, and these are in the form of a focaccia. Panzerotti with mozzarella, a little stuffed bread dough with mozzarella. Taralli, that is a biscuit, a round biscuit from Bari, very famous. Believe it or not, they love horse meat. It's a delicacy in Bari. Pasta al forno is a delicacy that was invented in Bari. Riso, patate e cozze. Rice, potatoes, and clams is a typical dish, given where Bari is on the Adriatic. Okay, famous people from Bari. Aldo Moro, who was the Italian premier, he was killed by the Brigate Rosse, believe it or not, terrorists. Domenico Modugno, how many know the song Volare? That's him, Domenico Modugno. He's a singer, very famous singer, he passed away. some beautiful sights that you're going to see, Antonio, when you go to Bari, are these cone-shaped buildings which go back hundreds and hundreds of years. These were farmhouses. And they're so beautiful the way they're made. They're very concentric. And the saying goes that the parents had the main one, and then as they had children and children got married, formed their own families, they just added on these trulli one after the other until they became a family of trulli, basically houses.
And the farmhouses, that's why the people of Pugliambari are called Tarone, the people of the earth, because of the agriculture in the place. So yeah, it's very
nice.
interesting.
So what else can I tell you about and they're made of limestone, by the way. Interesting, very interesting. So Antonio, you have prepared a famous dish here, fettuccine with shrimp.
Right.
Now,
So Bari being on the coast and being seafaring for all the years, going back to 101 BC when it was the first port area that became very instrumental for the Greeks and the Romans, I chose a dish that's instrumental of fish and pasta, as you mentioned, for that region. So I made fettuccine with shrimp. And basically what happens with this, Giulio, is that, you take the shrimp, you peel it. As that's happening and you set it aside, you start your skillet, and in the skillet you're putting in salt, fresh pepper with a tablespoon of unsalted butter. You start to mix that. You take some cloves of olives, 4. You chop up the cloves of olives you can see here I have the ingredients, very fine. You put that in with some dried oregano, with some pepper flakes. You put some more salted butter in, you stir it up, put the shrimp in, let the shrimp not overcook, just for about a minute or 2. Take that back out, then you put your Parmesan cheese in, your fresh parsley, you mix it all together, and then you have the dish, which is absolutely delicious.
Now, the main ingredients are basically the pasta.
The pasta, the shrimp.
The shrimp.
The, Italians and their cheese.
Absolutely.
So Parmesan cheese, which goes into it. Again, the parsley for that nice smell, the garlic that's really takes the taste and puts it in it. It's a staple in our house. We probably have this once a month. We love it. My daughter learned to make it, and so when she went to college, that was a hit. All of her roommates loved the fact when she made this for them. Everybody crowded to the room. It's a quick meal, but it's a nice meal. It's a hearty meal. And it's a part of bringing all the factions of what happens in the ground and on the sea together for a delicious meal. I hope everybody enjoys it when we go to our tasting in a little while.
Sure, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It looks very delicious, by the way.
Yeah.
And I see the shrimp. I love shrimp.
Yeah.
Now, are these specific types of shrimp, or you can use any kind of
you
shrimp?
could be peeled and deveined shrimp that you can get in a supermarket. You can also get it in a seafood if you'd like. It's relatively easy to make. Yeah. And it goes a long way, and everybody happens to love it.
Is this a dish that you make on a feast day or any time of the year?
Mostly it's during the course of the year. Let me be very honest and upfront. I'm good with schools. I love schools. I'm not the greatest chef. I'm very blessed to have a wife who's an incredible cook, and I've learned a lot from her. And as I get older and hopefully in retirement, I'll learn to cook, and do some of the other things very well. I like to mangiare. I like to eat. I like to eat a lot. And I love my Italian desserts, as I mentioned before about my grandfather. But this is something that I put together, and hopefully we'll enjoy it. And, and I'm proud to be an Italian, and I love Italian food. I mean, we go out to eat. Very seldomly do we go to any other restaurants, but Italian restaurants. I enjoy Italian food very much.
I think we're going to come to your house when
there
you
you go.
food like this.
Terrific.
So now you use fettuccine, or can you use spaghetti?
I use capellini. You can use the thin spaghetti if you want, because it really then mixes very well, and it kind of coats the pasta. So a capellini, angel hair, or thin
they
spaghetti.
Absorb the juice of the shrimp.
Correct.
So interesting. Very nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
It looks like a delicious meal. And your kids, are you teaching your kids how to do it?
Yeah, we really are. I have a son my oldest son loves to cook, and he likes to experiment. My daughter's learning how to do that also, so it's really something that's really interesting.
Very nice. And these are all the ingredients that you find very easily in a supermarket, or some of them in your backyard if you have a garden. You have garlic, you have parsley, I mean, if you cultivate wheat, you can make pasta, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's easy to buy. And shrimp, very easy to find. Very delicious preparation. Antonio, thank you very much.
Grazie.
I'm looking forward to
Appreciate it.
tasting
Thank you.
some.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
We'll take a short break for logistics purposes, and we'll be right back. So, thank you. Coming back here for an illustration of what our second master chef, Michel Capozella, has prepared for us. Let me tell you a little bit about Michel's roots in Italy. Michel's grandparents, so great-grandparents, came from Sicilia, and Sicilia is, let me get my pointer again, is right down here. It is a beautiful, beautiful island. We call it the soccer ball of Italy. Why? This is the boot, and that's the soccer ball. Italy is constantly kicking it. It is in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, largest island in Europe. It has the tallest volcano in Europe, Mount Etna. Very, very highly mountainous terrain. It's not flat. Some parts are flat. Down here in Catania, it's flat, but the rest is very hilly, very hilly. So the population is about 5 million plus. Again, a lot of people have immigrated to the US, Canada, Australia, North Europe, and South America. Being that it's right in the middle of everything, it has been kicked around for thousands of years by many, many different people. Namely, the Phoenicians. This is going back thousands of years. Carthage. The Romans fought the Carthaginians in Sicily. Greeks, Rome, Germanic tribes. When the Roman Empire fell, they came down and went down to Sicily even and ruled Sicily. Then it became part of the Byzantine Empire. There's a strong Arabic influence. The Normans, which are northern French, close to England, were in Sicily from 1038 to 1198, a couple hundred years. People go to Sicily and they see people with red hair, blonde hair, 6 feet tall, 7 feet tall, and say, "You're not Sicilian." Yes, they are. Their blood comes from the Norman occupation. Then they became part of the Spanish kingdom. The Pope, obviously the kingdom of the two Sicilies, is part of administering Sicily. And then in 1861, it became part of the unification of Italy. So Italy as a country is a very young country, not old. It's younger than the United States as a country. Famous industries, tourism. I was telling our Grand Marshal before, Anthony, that there's a big agriturismo industry in Italy now, where people from the northern Italy go to Italy, the Germans, from Finland, everywhere, and they want to experience being on the farm firsthand, but they don't want to do the work, okay? They just want to be there, experience farming, and then eat from the farm. Be there for a week or two, that's their vacation. So that's a very big business. Agriculture, very big. Shipyards, it's in the middle of water, so there's shipyards and ports all over the place. Palermo, which is right here, being the biggest one. It has reservoirs of natural gas, and obviously there's a big industry of fishing, okay? A lot of fish comes from Sicily, exported throughout Europe and even the United States. They produce lots of fruit, tangerines, lemons. I mean, I've never seen lemons in Sicily. They're delicious. Nuts, olives, some other nuts as well. And lots of cheese. One of the main cheeses they produce is Caciocavallo, which is not as sharp as provolone, but it's got its own taste. Very, very good. Very good cheese. Famous liquore, famous liquor of Sicily that everybody knows about is Marsala. Marsala wine that you cook with or you drink. Sicilian liqueur. As a matter of fact, some typical dishes that they make, Vil Marsala was invented in Sicily. What do you know? Pasta con sarde, pasta with sardines and fennel, Sicily. Eggplants of all types. We went to Sicily in 2001. We went to a restaurant, my wife and I and 3 kids. This was eggplant heaven. Every different way you can prepare eggplants, they were prepared in that restaurant. So very big on eggplant. Caponata, which is, it's not a paste, it's chopped up eggplant with spices and things that you could buy or make. Very typical of Sicily. Sfincione, it's a local pizza, delicious, very thick. Arancini, rice bowls with the core of the rice bowl is made of chopped meat. So when you open it, opens up, absolutely delicious. Guess what? Cannoli were invented in Sicily. Gelato was invented in Sicily. These people know how to eat. They really do. Patron saint. How many Sicilians you hear all the time? Oh, Santa Rosalia! Santa Rosalia is the Sicilian saint of choice. Some of the traditions that they have, you see different feasts that they have. You see the carrettino siciliano, the Sicilian cart, all decorated. The horse or the donkey is decorated as well. Really, really beautiful. They also like to have these big, huge floats. And by the way, we had this about 15, 20 years ago. One of these groups came to the US and they came to Meapac. It was called Mata e Grifone. They were huge statues made of cardboard and other things. That was interesting. There are a couple of famous people that I'd like to bring to your attention. Luigi Pirandello, he was a famous writer, very famous writer of the 20th century, all over the world. I read some of his books. And Giuseppe Bellanca, he designed the first airplane enclosed cabin. Okay? So, very famous people from Sicily as well. Now, let me tell you a little bit about, this is a tidbit that very few people know. After the Second World War, obviously, the Americans came from Africa, and, okay, here's my pointer. They came from Africa, they came through Sicily, and they came to the mainland. Sicily was instrumental in the Second World War. After the Second World War was finished, the British said, we want Malta, and Malta is down here. Okay, here's Malta, down here. Small, very small island. And the Americans said, well, we would like to take Sicily and annex it as a state of the US. The Sicilians today wish that had happened. Mm-hmm. But the Sicilian partisans said, Americans, thank you very much, but we are going to remain part of Italy. So very few people know that the US was very interested in that big island there. By the way, the US has the 6th Fleet, which is naval destroyers and carriers and all that, going around Italy every single day of the week. As a matter of fact, we have bases in Sicily, American bases. So we don't own Sicily, but we use Sicily as a base. Okay, have I told you a little too much about Sicily? It's a beautiful place, and I know Nick loves Sicily because he's Siciliano from Palermo. All right. Let's go to Michelle and see what Michelle has in store for us. Chicken riggies.
Right. Which is not from Italy at all. You're welcome. So when I was looking at something to make for this show, I was trying to think, and my husband said, why don't you make chicken riggies? His family is from Utica, New York, so that's where this recipe is from. There's arguments that say it's other places have, in central New York, there's a fighting amongst who really invented chicken riggies. But the recipe I'm using today is from my husband's grandmother, Nani Lorenza de Caesar, and this is her recipe. You can make it a lot of different ways, but this is just the one that she passed down to me, so I'm just using her recipe. So it's a very simple recipe. I think it's delicious. The last time I made it, I hadn't made it in a while, and I practiced for this. My husband had 3 helpings, which is unheard of. So the first thing you do is you just have some rigatoni pasta. What I did is, the recipe that I gave is for 8 servings. I brought ingredients to make 4. So it's a pound of rigatoni pasta. Cook it till it's al dente. Make sure you salt the water really well. Then while that's cooking, what you do is you take some olive oil, EVOO, and you put it in a pan, let it get nice and hot, and you add a small onion, and the recipe calls for 2 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna be honest with you, I never put the amount of garlic that a recipe says. I love garlic, I always put more garlic in. So if it says there's actually 3 cloves of garlic in here, but you can put as much garlic as you want. So you put it in the pan with the olive oil, and you kind of saute everything up until it's getting nice and translucent, and you don't want to burn the garlic, so keep it kind of low. And wait till it cooks and it gets a little bit translucent, and that just takes a couple minutes. Then you're going to add some chicken, which is, I have 3 breasts of chicken right here, and I just cubed them up nice and small. You add your chicken in there and you cook it until it's almost cooked. You don't want to cook all the way, you just want to start browning it. Because what's going to happen is you don't want to overcook it. You don't want it to get hard. So once the chicken is kind of cooked, that takes about 5 minutes until it starts to brown and it's almost cooked. And then you add a 28-ounce can of, I liked crushed tomatoes. Again, some of the recipes, I looked for different recipes when I was, looking at Nani's recipe, but then I was looking at other recipes. You can use whole tomatoes and you can crush them up yourself. You can use a tomato sauce if you want. I like the crushed tomatoes. So you put 1 can of crushed tomatoes in, and then you put about you put about half a cup of, calls for Parmesan cheese. I like to make the recipe with a little half Parmesan, half Romano, because I like that, the more pungent. Yeah, I like that. So once you get the tomatoes in with the chicken, then you put your cheese in and you let that cook for 10 minutes because you're kind of wanting the flavors to meld together. Put it on a low heat, let it simmer. And so that's going to cook. Once it's done, once your 10 minutes is up, you're going to put in a pint of cream. Wow. It's a lot of cream, I know, but it's delicious. So you put in a pint of cream. You might, the first time you make the recipe, you might want to put in, start with like half a pint and see how it goes. But you gradually add your cream, you mix it up, and then you kind of bring it back up to heat. Once that's come up to heat again, what you're going to do is you're going to add the rest of your cheese. So there's about another half a cup of cheese in there. And you're also going to add, these are hot cherry peppers.
You could do with that, or
you can. Well, the recipe always calls for the cherry peppers. So what I would do is you can do one of 2 things. I like to cut them small and it's to taste, so you can put as many or as little as you want. I like to cut them small because when I eat my riggies, I like to get those little pops of heat, those little, when you're eating it. You can leave them bigger. And that way, people who don't like the cherry pepper, you're still going to get a little bit of spice from the peppers being in the pasta. But if you leave them bigger, then people who don't like them can kind of pick them out. So you put that in, you put the cheese and your cherry peppers, and you just kind of let it come back up to temperature. Then you put in your cooked pasta. You put that into your sauce and your chicken, and you mix it all up and just, again, heat it up. And then you serve it, and then it's just basically you get this delicious chicken pasta, cherry pepper, creamy sauce that's really, really good. And then you serve it with even more cheese.
On top.
On top, yep,
Yeah.
for passing.
So this is carbohydrates and protein together.
Yes.
One dish.
One dish.
Excellent. Is this something that is prepared on occasion? Something that is a special holiday?
Yeah, it's just whenever. Like if you go to Utica and you go to restaurants, it's going to be on the menu. That and the other thing I thought of making were Utica greens, which are basically greens with sausage and hot peppers. But this is something that you find in that area. It's very popular in that area. So you make it anytime, or if you go out to eat, it's generally on the menu there.
And it was a dish that was prevalent within the Italian-American community?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a kind of, they came over here and then it's kind of something that they concocted on their own.
Yeah, very nice. Looks very attractive.
Thank you very much.
Very colorful, and I assume very delicious.
Woo!
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. We will take another short break for logistics purposes. We'll be right back. And here we are back with our cooking extravaganza. And our third chef that we are going to feature today is our honorary Grand Marshal, Frank Giordano, and he is going to tell us how to make spaghetti aglio e olio. It's not aglio olio, it's aglio e olio. The vowels have to flow from the tongue. Okay, aglio e olio. Okay, but let's trace Frank's roots to the peninsula here. See where he comes from, how his grandparents came from. Frank traces his roots to Napoli, which is the capital of the region of Campania. Again, to make it a little easier here, is Campania, and it faces the Tyrrhenian Sea, which is part of the Mediterranean. Okay? Beautiful, beautiful area. Places like Capri, Anacapri, Sorrento, Vesuvio, they're all there. It's one of the most beautiful regions Italy has. The population is about 1 million, with the metropolitan area and suburbs being about 3 million. It is over 2,800 years old. It used to be called Neapolis, founded by the ancient Greeks. I wonder why. They like the place. It sits on the Gulf of Naples, and right in the distance, it faces Vesuvius, which is forever rumbling. High importance in the Magna Graecia, the Greater Greece, and the Roman Empire. As a matter of fact, the Romans, when they got tired of being in Rome, they went down to Campania, Naples, for vacation. That was the vacation grounds. Was the capital of the Kingdom of Naples, e le due Sicilie, and the two Sicilies, meaning the Pope from here to here, and then the rest. Sicily became Campania became part of the unification of Italy in 1861. Famous products from Napoli, there are so many. Naples is one of the centers of the world for good food. But there are some things that, stand out. Pizza. Pizza from Naples. They make the individual pizzas, and now they have learned to make the American-style pizza. And, the big ones, and delicious. Spaghetti with a variety of fish. You go to Naples, and you taste some of the best spaghetti with fish you could taste. All kinds of fish dishes. It's open sea here. Typical dishes are ciabatta. Ciabatta is a mixture of all kinds of vegetables, potatoes, onions, and you throw them in a pot, you put some sauce, and here you are. Okay, I'm sure some of the people in the audience make ciabatta, right? Struffoli with honey. These are made around Easter. They're little balls.
Christmas.
Okay, of what?
Christmas.
Oh, Christmas, excuse me. Well, some people make them at Easter too. Christmas mainly. But little balls that you sprinkle honey on top, and they're delicious. I usually grab a whole bunch like this and stuff my mouth. They make different wines, and they also they make a specific coffee that is called cucamaiella. It's an espresso, but the way they make it is with a lot of foam, and it's called cucamaiella. It's a special coffee pot that they use. Art, music, Neapolitan songs, how can you go wrong? O Sole Mio being one of the most famous ones, right? Rich in songs. They invented the mandolino, the mandolin. I think we have one right here. Here we go. Here's the mandolin. They invented this instrument specifically for the Neapolitan songs. And also, they're very big on playing the romantic guitar, which has 6 strings, and it lends itself very nicely to the Neapolitan songs. Enrico Caruso came from Napoli. All right, he's one of the biggest tenors ever. Typical songs that we hear on weddings, O Sole Mio, Funiculi Funicula, etc. Naples has a very rich seaport. As a matter of fact, when people traveled abroad and there were no airplanes, or airplanes were difficult to get because they were so expensive, everyone, almost all, from here down, from here to the tip, okay, you took your boat from Naples. In Sicily, you took it in Palermo. If you were here north, you went to Genova, which is right here, to take the boat. When I came to the United States, guess what? We went to Napoli to take the boat. Okay? So today, it is a very, very rich seaport. If you again take, instead of the Eastern Mediterranean cruise, you take the Western Mediterranean cruise, Napoli is one of your stops. Okay? Very beautiful. They have many castles in Napoli, Spanish castles that you can visit. So, very, very rich area. San Gennaro is the patron saint of Napoli. What do you know, right? We brought that tradition to the United States. I don't know if you know Pulcinella. He is a character in Carnevale. He's dressed all in white. Arlecchino is another character from Napoli. He's dressed with a costume made of all patches, different colors. They came from Naples. 2 famous comedians, and I don't know if you know these guys, but Peppino De Filippo and Totò. Totò was the Italian Bob Hope. They come from Napoli, okay? And they both passed away, obviously, but if you ever want to laugh for an entire evening, you just listen to some of their comedies. They're hilarious. So, Napoli, beautiful, beautiful area, very famous for its food of all types, very touristy. Around Naples, you have Sorrento, Capri, Aracapri. So take your pick, what you want to see when you go to Italy. So, but we have here spaghetti aglio e olio, prepared by Frank. Frank, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you prepare this, what the ingredients are, and how you prepare it?
First, I want to brag a little bit about my garden. Everything, a lot of everything came from my garden. I have 2 types of basils, and I also have types of parsley. We chop the parsley up, we chop the garlic up small. Over here, you'll see this is how it's small, tiny like this. And then, smell that? Nice?
Garlic
Garlic and oil.
and oil. Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
I know.
Put garlic on anything, it's great.
With toasted bread, put that on top.
Oh, Madonna.
Delizioso.
Oh. So what we do is we boil the pasta, get it going. While we're boiling the pasta, we start to put the garlic up. And we chop up the garlic, get it nice and small, put it in the olive oil. We use Lava Botticelli here.
Extra virgin olive oil.
Extra virgin olive oil, delicious. Get it nice and a little bit toasty, not burnt, because then it don't taste good. we put it in, get it nice and ready, and then we take out the pasta. Take the pasta out, you know, get it in the colander, take it out, and put it into the pan where this is cooking. So we got a nice big pan there with the pasta in it. Swirl it all together. Oh, delicious. Wonderful. And then a little cheese.
What kind of cheese do you use?
Oh, right here.
Pecorino Romano?
Yeah, grated Romano cheese.
That gives you the pungent taste.
Very nice, nice.
But you could
and
use a
short.
little Parmigiano on it too if you
Yeah,
want.
you
It's a
could
little
use
sweet.
whatever.
Eh?
Yeah, well, I like this.
You
know.
like that?
My wife picks it out. Whatever she likes, we use. I have no say in the matter. She's the best. So we mix this up, and we're ready to go. Also, I have a huge garden, and around the garden, I have nice little
Grapes.
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 See that?
Little grapes.
They're little grapes, but
Sweet.
they're sweet, but you could taste one. The only problem is they have seeds in them, a lot of seeds. And I picked up a couple of kinds of little tomatoes I have. They're doing well. My big tomatoes aren't doing so bad either.
Got
Nice.
some garden.
Well, this was a terrible year for growing that stuff.
Because of the rain.
No rain for a while, and then there was rain every day. And then it was 100 degrees every day, so every night I'm watering and watering. And my zucchini didn't do well this year. They got cooked.
Now, Frank, on top of the spaghetti aglio olio, I see that you have some red stuff here. What is this all about?
Well, if you want a little sharp taste to it, you sprinkle just a little bit. Grind it up, but this is pretty
Little bit
well.
of red pepper.
A little bit for taste. Little red pepper, little cheese, a little bit more, everything, parsley, and it's everything for the parsley is just for coloring, but a little taste too. And we have two kinds of parsleys. We have the big parsley, and I got the little parsley.
Wow.
And I'm lucky. I put everything by my fence. I got all my parsley, my little everythings, and of course, the basil. Smells delicious.
Very nice, Frank. Now, I never knew that you were a farmer. I mean,
Oh,
all
no,
these
no.
products are from the farm here. From your farm.
My
Yeah.
grandfather, I thought you were going to get more into that, but
Okay, go
my
ahead.
grandfather came from the other side. Every Italian knew how to grow tomato plants.
Sure.
I had, in my backyard, we had an apartment, and we had like a little ledge about this big full of dirt. And we propped it up, put a lot of dirt in, and what he did was he showed me how to get the most. You know, you dig, get the dirt nice and loose, black. So I went, I spent 99 cents back then, and I bought a couple of bags of, the dirt, the black dirt. Mixed it in, and I had my own little tomato garden going.
Very nice.
And he told, now my tomato garden goes from about there to almost here, about that wide, but it's
About
now
15 feet.
it's all being overrun by strawberries now.
Well.
So about a quarter of it's strawberries.
Strawberries.
Strawberries, which,
And do you grow strawberries as well?
no, they were too little.
They're too little. Okay.
They're disgusting.
Frank, this is a dish that is easily prepared.
Very easy.
It's a main dish, okay, with a lot of spices, a lot of garlic. This is very wholesome. I mean, this is a staple
Oh, yeah.
in southern Italy. This is one of the things that
Oh,
we
Naples,
prepare all
this
the
is
time.
every day, yeah.
And actually, spaghetti aglio olio, and sometimes I've seen it that they put clams in there too.
Oh,
Okay.
the big thing is what, anchovies?
Anchovies.
There's a guy who's on the internet all the time. What's his name? People, and he puts anchovies in everything.
Yeah, you can put anchovies in there and give it a little more taste.
Yeah, you
you
gotta acquire the taste for it because they're strong. Some people really don't like
Well,
anchovies.
very nice, Frank. I congratulate you on being a farmer and your grapes. Look at this. Grapes, herbs, and just a beautiful job. Congratulations.
Thank you. A pleasure. Bye-bye.
We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. In closing, I would like to remind you of a couple key dates coming up. First of all, on Sunday, September 22nd, we have at 1:30 at the Villa Barone Hilltop Manor here in Mayapack, we have our grand gala where we'll be installing the marshals and enjoying an open bar and an Italian wedding. You will not go home hungry, I assure you. On Sunday, October the 6th at 2:30, we have our great parade, grand parade, the Columbus Day Parade, starting at Lake Cassie and ending at the Chamber Park, right here in Mayapack. Come on all to enjoy a beautiful day. Also, the Chamber of Commerce has the festival going on at the same time. And then on Sunday, October the 20th, we have our Mass starting at 11:30 at St. John the Evangelist Church here in Mayapack on East Lake Boulevard. And then follow that, we have a beautiful concert. We are going to feature Teo, a tremendous tenor. I also remind you to look online at our website, ItalianAmericanClubofMayapack.org, for all the schedules of our events. I also want to remind you to look online for the PRPH website, prphny.org for all the schedule of events that they have planned. And PRPH is our charity of choice this year that we are featuring. And also don't forget that the Chamber of Commerce has its festival starting at 11:30 on October 6th, the day of the parade. If you would like further information on any of this, please contact me on my cell, 845-745-2655. I repeat, 845-745-2655. I would like to take a moment to express once again our special thanks to the Columbus Day Festivities Committee, many of whom are always in the background, but without them, we would not be able to do all this work that we do. You're super, and I thank you very much. I want to thank our special honorees. Today, we had Kevin Heinzinger,
Kevin!
part of PRPH. I want to thank our marshals, our Grand Marshal, Anthony DiCarlo, Superintendent of Schools, Michelle Capocella, Executive Director and CEO of our library, and Frank Giordano, member of the Italian American Club and a poker player extraordinaire. You guys dedicate so much to the community. I really appreciate it. I know the community appreciates you. Thank you very much. I also would like to thank my co-host, Jim Sullivan, the director of PRPH, and also Linda Cefaloni, my beautiful wife there, for doing such an outstanding job on the journal. Among other things. She's my right arm and my left arm. I would be remiss if I did not thank our technical director, Nick Scafidi, at the camera right now.
Woo! Oh, Nick!
Last but not least, I would like to thank our community merchants who support us each year in everything that we do, and especially the journal. Without you, we would not be able to do that journal. Thank you for your contributions, and I assure you we will put that money to good use in the coming months. And by the way, shop Putnam. We need you to shop Putnam. Okay, until next year, my friends, when we hope to do this again, okay? Please join me in all these activities for Columbus Day. Buona salute. Arrivederci.
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 God bless America and keep our world safe.
God bless America.